So what are the ways that your kids are going to wake up and say, I want to be like my dad?
Look, my dad, he didn't have it easy, but he had an easy example because he was struggling. My dad was struggling, and he was getting through to make a better life for me. Like, that's what he was doing. He was, like Moses talks about all the time, wealth is a generational game, right? People come over from another country, they work their whole lives for an hourly wage, Saturdays and Sundays included, so that the next generation can have a chance and go to a decent school and go to college and maybe work a better job. And then that whole generation works their whole lives and retires so that they can send a kid off to the Ivy League or to just take a step up. And like, my dad grinded and I have that, but yeah, now here I am and here you are. And my life has changed beyond my wildest dreams in the last 5 years. And it's hard, man. It's hard. Like, what am I going to do to show my kids that I'm struggling? Because life is hard for everybody. People say the more money you get, the easier life gets. And yes, that's true. But it doesn't stop from the travel delays. It doesn't stop from the rain happening on an event when you got people coming over. It doesn't stop the sicknesses. It doesn't stop the hangovers. It doesn't stop the struggles with all these things that tempt us as men. It doesn't stop any of this other really hard shit that people don't see in life. So if you raise your kids with everything and don't get them used to struggling, then when life hits them in the face, no matter how rich they are, no matter what job daddy gets them, when they get out of college and life smacks them in the face, whether they're trying to stay healthy and fit and they can't, or they're struggling with alcohol, or they're trying to make it through a tough relationship, or whatever, any number of things that make life so hard, they're going to crumble. They're going to crumble unless they have some practice. So the only correlation, I think about this so much, it's probably occupies, I love the fact that you made this tweet and said, hey, what should Nick and I talk about? And almost everybody wanted to talk about life and how to be happy and how to raise good kids, because that's all I'm thinking about. And I've talked to a lot of rich people. I've talked to a lot of rich people who made amazing kids. And I've asked them, like, what did your dad do different? And I think they all have varying levels of answers, but I think the one main thing, the thing I'm going to try to do is make sure that my kids, A, get practice making decisions when the stakes are low, meaning I'm not just going to put them in a bubble and make every decision for them all the way through high school and college like so many well-to-do parents do. And number two, when they inevitably make bad decisions and they got to struggle a little bit, just like your dad kicked you in the ass and my dad has kicked me in the ass so many different times, I'm going to make them like deal with the consequences. I'm not going to bail them out. If they get a DUI on the way home from a football game, I'm not going to call my buddy who's a judge that I'm playing golf with and get them out of it. I'm going to make them deal with that. If they drop their iPhone and shatter the screen, then they're going to go a month without an iPhone until they save up the money to get a new iPhone. They're going to just live with the consequences. I think you just got to teach these kids to learn how to struggle with grace, because life is a struggle. And too many parents, they have all the means, they have all the resources, and it's natural as a parent, especially as a mother, to want to protect your kid from struggle and suffering. Like, who wants to watch their kid suffer? It's really, really hard to watch your kid cry, to be upset, to deal with pain. But you've got to make them get comfortable in those uncomfortable situations, and you got to make them get used to struggling. So I'm going to make sure my kids are uncomfortable and make sure they're doing things that they don't want to do that are going to make them better and grow, so that hopefully when they're 18 and they go off to college, they know how to make decent decisions and they've gotten practice making decisions. I went to this college with so many kids who got zero practice making decisions, and life is one big decision. You're making 100 of them a day and they all impact you. So if you don't know how to do it, you're screwed.
Before you go, we have a new sponsor of the show, recostseg.com. And if you bought a piece of real estate, you need to get a cost segregation study done. It's what allows you to get all that sweet, sweet bonus depreciation, and it's how real estate investors like me and many others pay almost nothing in taxes on an annual basis. You can cost seg a single-family rental, a short-term rental, or a large commercial property. recostseg.com is affordable and aggressive and super fast to turn them around. They've done 10 plus cost segs for me this year. They're going to do many more for me. Visit recostseg.com to learn more.